In a world that moves so fast, with all of our responsibilities and daily tasks, our minds are constantly stimulated and challenged. What if you could slow down time? What if you could think with a calmer, more clear mind? What if you could completely rewire your brain and have full control over your mind, body, emotions, and reality as a whole? Well, I'm here to tell you that you can, and the process is actually a lot easier than you think. I am Felice. I have been meditating for a few years now and have been involved in a meditation group and club at my last college, so I have learned quite a few things about it. So if you want to learn more, please keep watching. Through time, a multitude of different studies have been performed on the benefits of meditation and the effect that it has on the human mind. A study created by Benson, an associate professor at Harvard Medical School, and his colleagues looked a little more into depth on the monks in the Himalayan mountains and Sikkim, India, who performed a meditation technique called G-Tamo meditation, which is basically a meditative state that would allow them to change their body temperature. These monks in the Himalayan mountains could raise the body temperature in their fingers and toes up to 17%. In this study, Benson and his team would place cold, wet sheets over these monks, and by the end of their meditation, the sheets would be completely dry, just from their body temperature alone. In the study of the monks from Sikkim, India, these monks were able to raise their metabolism by a whole 64%, which is crazy because metabolism and oxygen consumption levels usually only drop about 10 to 15% on average during sleep and about 17% during surface level meditation. Now, details on how these monks achieved this meditation are vague, but during the study, they noticed a decrease of blood flow to the brain, but an increase in activity in the parts of the brain that control attention and atomic functions like metabolism and blood pressure. Now, of course, these monks have had a lot of practice, and this type of meditation can be hard for a person living in the modern world to achieve. But even with smaller practices of simpler meditations, we can still reap so many of its benefits. Most who meditate also tend to perform better on tests and can be better at decision making than those who don't, due to the increased activity and exercise given to the anterior cingulate cortex. An 8-week meditation study performed within the Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction Program at the University of Massachusetts Center for Meditation. Just a brief correction, I meant to say the University of Massachusetts Center for Mindfulness, not meditation. Involved average people with different sets of experience with meditation and showed that practicing mindfulness activities for about 27 minutes a day had increased gray matter in the hippocampus and decreased gray matter density in the amygdala, ultimately increasing learning and memory ability as well as self-awareness and compassion, and decreasing stress and anxiety levels. Now, how can you get to this point as a person living in the modern world with little time, little experience, and possibly even little resources? Well, one thing to understand and recognize before getting into these practices is that every brain works differently. So one method that may work for one person might not work for you, and that's okay. There are plenty of different techniques out there, and if something works for someone, something is going to work for you. So it's important to understand at least a little about how you think and how your brain and mind works to find the techniques and strategies that make the most sense to you. To go off this, when you're starting out, don't expect instant results, and don't feel let down if you aren't able to reach that level of meditation you have been wanting to right away. When you are starting, it's important to set an intention, to give yourself a sense of direction and a goal. Meditation is all about presence and acceptance, and is a process and something you work through to reach the roots of an issue or a goal, and is not always instant nor an instant ending to that issue. Sometimes it may actually take some time during a meditation to reach a meditative state, and that is totally normal. Like all things, meditation takes practice, but remember that by just sitting and trying, you are actually succeeding at it. It's important to remember that meditation does not just include sitting in lotus position and clearing your thoughts. In fact, that's not what it's all about at all. When meditating, it's important to feel comfortable, whether that means laying down, sitting down, or even standing up. One thing people tend to forget is that you can still meditate even while physically doing something, such as working or sitting in class or buying groceries at the grocery store. Now, how can that be, you might ask? Well, although you may not be able to reach a full meditative state while physically and actively doing something, meditation is all about being present and indulging in just simply the state of being. For example, say you're brushing your teeth or washing your face. You can meditate while doing this by paying specific attention to what you're doing, such as feeling the bristles brush over your teeth, feeling the texture of the washcloth, or feeling the temperature of the water, and just creating more intimacy with those things in that moment. Focusing on what you are doing in the now, or focusing on something specific about what you're doing, helps you to remain more present and can even romanticize the moment a little bit more. Another way to include a basic and easy meditation technique in your daily life and during meditation practices is breath work. I feel like a lot of the time we underestimate our breath so much, even though it is the main source of our living and overall health. Through anything and everything, as long as we are living, our breath is there. So why not use it to our advantage? A few main forms of breath work that tend to work for me are lion's breath, square or box breathing, and the 4-7-8 method. Luckily, the way these methods are performed are pretty much as they sound. When performing lion's breath, you simply inhale and exhale with an open mouth and tongue out. With the square or box breathing method, you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for another 4 seconds, and hold again for 4 seconds. And with the 4-7-8 method, you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. There is another form of breathwork, however, that may be a little more advanced, but you can take it to the capacity that you can, and this is called the Wim Hof method. This method includes a series of quick inhales and exhales, and then a long, low lung volume breath hold, a quick inhale, and a long, high lung volume breath hold. These breath holds usually start at about a minute, but I recommend you start at however long feels most comfortable to you. Breathwork can help you become more grounded and present, and even calms the mind and the nervous system, eventually even healing pain and even other health issues as well. Another method that can help during meditation is to repeat a word, sound, or phrase. If you have been involved in a yoga or meditation class, you may have noticed the words that are chanted, created, or used. Not only are these sounds used to remind the meditator of the ultimate goal or intention, but they can also offer positive affirmations and something to focus on during the meditation or yoga. And actually, when stating and repeating a word or phrase, you can actually train your brain to eventually believing it. And as thoughts become words and words become actions, even eventually adopting and becoming it. So be careful of what you use, because words can be very powerful. Now, going off of what I stated earlier about meditation not just being about blanking your thoughts and silencing your mind, although that is a form of meditation, it can be very hard to reach at first. So in starting out, instead of instantly trying to reach that state, start by third person observing, meaning that when a thought pops up, simply acknowledging its existence, but then let it pass by as if you're watching a car pass by. Not letting it affect you, but merely just recognizing it, then letting it go. This technique rolls off the idea of acceptance and is not only used for thoughts, but can also be used when expressing or feeling a certain emotion, or even dealing with pain and so much more. Now, my last little bit of advice is to start small. Start your average meditation short and sweet and work your way up. Don't overwhelm yourself at first with unrealistic expectations or unrealistic times, and just do what feels most comfortable and do what technique makes the most sense to you, and you will get there eventually. Now, hopefully you're ready and encouraged to start your meditation journey. I hope this video helped you find some new techniques or even increased your motivation and confidence to start meditating. Leave a comment below if any of these techniques worked for you, drop a like, and of course subscribe if you would like, and I hope to see all of your beautiful faces in my next video. Bye guys!